Durk snitching in that courtroom?
Nah.
Yo, but listen to me. Durk snitching in that courtroom? Yo, did a nigga snitch on me? Jorge, the driver, didn't he snitch on me? Took everybody down?
Yeah. He was tape recording and shit.
If snitch plus snitch equals okay. No, hold on. Because Durk hired these lawyers, right? So I know.
Yo, you gotta get on Facts TV because we gonna have to debate this. I'm on Durk's side with this. This is not full snitching. This is called an alternate theory defense. You notice. It's basically Rondo did with C-Day when Rondo said, how don't you, the evidence kind of matched the other guy, so why y'all blame it on me? Is that snitching? That's not snitching.
You're not supposed to say that, nigga. Any street nigga, come on, bro. Street niggas like, shut up. Y'all figure it out.
He did shut up. The lawyers are just making a statement. He's making a case.
But you're supposed to tell your lawyer. As a street nigga, I'm not pointing fingers at nobody else. I just know I didn't have nothing to do with it. That's it. How you throwing it on another man? That's snitching.
Okay. Is it snitching if he's throwing it on the snitch? Vonnie is snitching.
So why can't why my shit wasn't okay? Because I got told.
I cannot believe what Lil Durk's defense is. We have just heard his defense make their opening statements, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm absolutely floored. You know what they're trying to do? They're blaming it all on Vonnie. Now, I don't know if people are going to go as far as to say that he telling on Vonnie, but he basically is blaming everything on Vonnie. They're basically making this whole case. They showed the entire opening statement, right? Bear in mind that the prosecution, they showed various pictures, videos, still images of multiple attempts on Quando's life, the actual murder of Lil Pab, the footage of that, footage from Durk's music videos, footage from apparently still images of them when they tried to kill Quando in Waycross, Georgia. It was a whole presentation. When the defense were up there, they basically showed only a couple pictures, and the one picture they showed the whole time was just a picture of Vonnie with King Von. They said it's all Vonnie. Vonnie was King Von's cousin. They said his nickname was Cuz because he was King Von's cousin. His whole identity was based around the fact that he was King Von's cousin. And
look, I don't want to hear nothing. Durk just blamed everything on Vonnie. Vonnie is the only one that want to slide for Von. Why? Because that's his.
For years, Lil Durk was one of the loudest voices in hip-hop when it came to clowning on rats. He dragged Tekashi 6ix9ine a knee for testifying against the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods back in 2019. He called Gunna a rat to his face on a DJ Akademics interview after Gunna took that plea deal in the YSL case.
If you ever told, you ever tell, I hate you, like with a passion, like. That took away half of my. That made me who I am today. That took away half of my life. Like motherfucker telling on my pops and that's who, you know what I'm saying, I need it.
Do you believe that Gunna told?
Man, I don't sit up and play games, man. That man told. You should have went in there and kept your mouth closed.
Durk built a whole reputation off of that OTF loyalty code, the idea that real ones never talk. Real ones ride for their people no matter what the feds throw at them. That was the brand. That was the image he sold to millions of fans. So it's wild, almost poetic in a messed up way, that 2 years after his arrest, Durk himself is sitting in that same hot seat, and the same streets he used to speak for are asking whether he broke his own rule. Let's rewind and get the full picture, because this case has more layers than people realize. Durk Banks got arrested back in October of 2024 over a murder-for-hire plot connected to the death of his best friend King Von. Von was killed in Atlanta back in 2020 outside a hookah lounge, and everybody in the industry knows Durk never got over that loss. Prosecutors say that grief turned into obsession, and that obsession turned into a plan to have Rondo killed, since Rondo was tied to the beef that led to Von's death. The problem is the hit allegedly went wrong. Instead of hitting Rondo, the shooters killed Rondo's cousin, a young woman named Saviay'a Robinson, at a gas station near the Beverly Center Mall in Los Angeles back in August of 2022. That is the crime Durk has been sitting in federal custody for, and it's the reason his trial finally kicked off in Los Angeles this past week. Now here's where the snitching debate really catches fire. The prosecution came out swinging in their opening statement, saying Durk was the architect of the whole thing, the one who put the money up and gave the orders. But his defense attorney, a lawyer named Marissa Goldberg, told the jury something completely different. She said Durk had nothing to do with planning the murder, and that the real mastermind was a man named Kavon Grant, who goes by OTF Vonnie in the streets. According to Goldberg, when the feds ran up on Vonnie's door in October of 2024, he panicked, realized he was staring at life in prison, and decided his only way out was to point the finger at somebody bigger. Her exact words to the jury were that Vonnie treated Durk like an insurance policy. Grant has already pled guilty, and he is set to take the stand and testify against Durk. On top of that, 2 more people connected to this case, Casey Hester, who goes by OTF Jam, and a man named Keith Jones, who's accused of being one of the shooters, both took plea deals too and are cooperating with the government. So think about what's actually happening here. Durk's own legal team, the lawyers he is paying, are standing up in a federal courtroom and pointing at his own guy, someone who came up in OTF with him, and saying it was him, not my client. To a lot of people online, that is functionally the same thing as snitching, even if Durk himself never opens his mouth on the stand. Now let's get into the Tekashi 6ix9ine angle, because honestly, nobody in this entire situation has been louder or more entertained by it than him.
Durk snitching in that courtroom?
No.
Yo, but listen to me. Durk snitching in that courtroom? Yo, did a nigga snitch on me? Jorge, the driver, didn't he snitch on me? Took everybody down?
Yeah. He was tape recording
if
and shit.
snitch plus snitch equals okay. No, hold on. Because Durk hired these lawyers, right? So I know.
Yo, you gotta get on Facts TV because we gonna have to debate this. I'm on Durk's side with this. This is not full snitching. This is called an alternate theory defense. You notice it's basically Rondo did with C-Day when Rondo said, "How don't you?" The evidence kind of matched the other guy, so why y'all blaming it on me? Is that snitching? That's not snitching.
You're not supposed to say that, nigga. Any street nigga, come on, bro. Street niggas like, shut up. Y'all figure it out.
He did shut up. The lawyers are just making a statement. He's making a case.
But you're supposed to tell your lawyer. You're supposed to tell your lawyer as a street nigga. I'm not pointing fingers at nobody else. I just know I didn't have nothing to do with it. That's it. How you throwing it on another man? That's snitching.
Okay, is it snitching if he's throwing it on the snitch? Vonnie is snitching.
So why can't I? Why my shit wasn't okay? Because I.
To understand why, you have to go back to where this beef actually started. Back in 2019, when 6ix9ine took the stand and testified against the 9 Trey gangster bloods, Durk was one of the first big names to publicly call him a rat and a snitch. No hesitation, no nuance.
With the 6ix9ine thing. 6ix9ine was somebody who, he showed me a lot of love, especially early on during his career. He happened to get in beef with everybody in the game. But I felt like with you and him, and especially Vaughn passed away, it got personal. And I just remember like even thinking, I'm like, I understand playing the media side and you're trying to be neutral. Like if you said anything, I'm gonna post it. If he said anything, I'm gonna post it.
I just don't take him serious.
But there was moments like I had a conversation with him.
It's just niggas like that. Like I don't take serious. Like
the Vaughn stuff, I had a conversation.
That label stuck to Tekashi for years, and he never forgot who put it on him. Then in 2020, after King Von was killed, 6ix9ine went on DJ Akademics' show with Whack 100 and said something that has now come back to haunt Durk in the worst way possible. On that stream, Tekashi screamed at the camera asking what Durk was even doing to avenge Von's death, saying, quote, "He's not doing anything," essentially daring Durk to slide on somebody in retaliation. Prosecutors now want to use that exact interview as evidence in the trial, arguing it shows Durk was under public pressure to commit violence for Von, which lines up with their theory that the Quando Rondo hit was revenge-driven. Durk's lawyers are fighting hard to keep that clip out of the courtroom, claiming their client never even saw it, but the judge still has to rule on whether it gets shown to the jury. So right there you've got 6ix9ine's own words, potentially becoming a piece of evidence in a murder-for-hire trial, which is a wild full-circle moment on its own. But once the snitching allegations against Durk started swirling this past week, Tekashi obviously couldn't help himself. He hopped on his Instagram story and straight up admonished Durk, essentially saying "I told you so," and reminding everybody exactly who was calling him a rat 5 years ago. He's also been doing live streams with Akademics, reacting to every twist in the trial almost in real time. In one of those streams, Akademics asked Tekashi what he would have done differently if he were in Durk's shoes from a legal standpoint.
So, the Lil Durk case is still going. And OTF Jam, who they said is cooperating in this case, got out. And I heard that he is cooperating. I heard OTF Vonnie, which is one of Durk's main guys, is the main cooperator as well.
So what do we tell Lil Durk? You know what you signed up for. Take your time, big dog.
And 6ix9ine actually gave a pretty calculated answer. He said he would have hired one law firm to represent himself and every single co-defendant at the same time. So all the lawyers and paralegals are working together instead of against each other, which he believes acts as a built-in deterrent against anybody flipping, since whatever OTF Vonnie or OTF Jam said in private would immediately get back to him through the shared legal team. Akademics actually agreed with that strategy, saying he'd been preaching that exact approach to his audience for years, even when people didn't understand why it mattered. Tekashi has also been trolling Durk on a more personal level throughout this whole trial. He's publicly asked Akademics whether he would front Durk $500,000 if the rapper ends up sentenced to life in prison, clearly just needling him for entertainment at this point. And once the snitching narrative really picked up steam after opening statements, 6ix9ine again went after Durk directly, accusing him of exactly what he accused Tekashi of years ago, pointing out the hypocrisy in real time for anyone who would listen. Not everybody is here for it, though. Some commentators, like Sedi Nash, have publicly checked 6ix9ine for what they're calling talking greasy, arguing that he's twisting a legitimate defense strategy into a snitching accusation purely to win an old beef, not because he actually cares about accuracy. Durk's attorney Bradford Cohen has made a similar point, saying that when a cooperating witness admits to arranging an entire murder and then claims somebody else told them to do it, the correct legal response of saying "I don't know what this guy is talking about" isn't snitching, it's just contesting a false claim. Cohen's whole argument is that people like Tekashi aren't interested in the legal distinction. They're interested in finally getting one over on a guy who spent years talking down on them. There's more swirling around this case too that's worth knowing. There was actually a meme moment back when OTF Jam was first taken into custody, where a photo surfaced of him sitting in an interrogation room casually eating McDonald's, which the internet ran wild with as a symbol of him flipping without much resistance.
So the Lil Durk case is still going.
Yeah.
And OTF Jam, who they said is cooperating in this case, got out. And he actually dropped his location and said, yeah, anyone got a problem with me, come get it. What do you think about this whole case?
Well, let's rewind. Like, give me context. Like what? Like I don't know what's going on.
Right. Well,
So did he say like, yeah, I'm snitching?
Basically, like I heard a lot of woofing on the internet. If you got a problem with me, come get it. And I heard that he is cooperating. I heard OTF Vonnie, which is one of Durk's main guys, is the main cooperator as well.
So OTF Vonnie. So guys, I just want you to focus right now. So I'm not aware of what's going on. He's giving me the facts. These are facts that you're saying?
Mm-hmm. These are facts.
So if you're saying that OTF Jam said, hey guys, I heard a lot of woofing, you know where to find me, because he's cooperating, because he's snitching, and OTF Vonnie most likely is cooperating.
Right.
So what do we tell Lil Durk? You know what you signed up for, right? Take your time, big dog. You know what you signed up for. So where's the excuses like, damn, OTF Jam, he gave you 100,000 or 50,000 when you came home. Clip that, right? Everybody clip this.
Mm-hmm.
OTF Jam, I'll give you 50,000 when you get home. He didn't even have to ask twice.
Right.
And now he's snitching on you? Let's say the same thing they told me. You know what you signed up for? No. You know what you signed up for?
Prosecutors have also pointed to one of Durk's own songs, a track called Piss Me Off, calling it a call to arms tied to the plan to avenge King Von, and they're trying to get a text message admitted into evidence that Durk's team argues was obtained through an unlawful seizure and should be thrown out. On top of all of that, this Los Angeles trial covering the Quando Rondo murder for hire plot is not even the end of Durk's legal troubles. Once this trial wraps up, whatever the verdict ends up being, he still faces a separate racketeering trial down the line, since that portion of the case was severed from this one to keep things on schedule. There were also earlier reports during his lengthy pretrial period of an alleged attempt to flee the country and claims that hitmen were paid for using an American Express card, all of which prosecutors are expected to weave into their broader narrative as the trial continues. And that's exactly the argument DJ Vlad has been pushing hard the last couple days too. Vlad put out a post basically checking anybody trying to give Durk a pass, saying people keep claiming Durk isn't snitching because it's technically his lawyer talking and not him personally. Vlad shut that down fast, saying if you've ever paid real lawyer money, your lawyer can only say what you allow them to say in that courtroom, since you're the one signing off and you're the one paying.
Durk didn't just randomly blame it on Vonnie. Vonnie admitted to the cops all these things is true. However, Durk is the one who told me to do it. So Vonnie admitted all his role. He just brought in Durk. And Durk is saying, no, if this guy told y'all he did it, why the fuck are y'all bringing me into it? The evidence kind of supports that he did it. So let's leave it at he did it and leave me out the group chat.
Vlad also brought up Durk's own history of calling out Gunna for a plea deal that didn't even involve taking the stand against anybody, pointing out how easy it is to hand out that snitch label from a mansion with security until you're the one looking at life. Now, to be fair, there's another side being pushed hard by Durk's camp. Bradford Cohen has been out there trying to debunk this whole narrative, arguing that what's happening in that courtroom is standard defense strategy, not betrayal. Every defense attorney with multiple co-defendants is going to shift blame toward whoever else is available if there's a legitimate argument to make. That's not some special Durk move, that's just how criminal defense works. Under that lens, Durk sitting quiet at the defense table while his lawyer argues reasonable doubt isn't the same thing as a man taking the stand and testifying against his own people in exchange for a lighter sentence, the way Tekashi did or the way Vonnie, Jam, and Keith Jones are doing right now. But here's the thing that makes this so messy and honestly kind of ironic. Durk never made that distinction for other people back when he was the one clowning them. When Gunna simply pled out and went home without ever taking the stand, Durk still called him a rat publicly, no separating defense strategy from actual cooperation. So now that the exact same grey area is protecting his own case, a lot of fans are pointing out he doesn't get to suddenly discover nuance just because it's convenient for him. Either the standard is real or it isn't. The internet reaction has been exactly what you'd expect from a hip-hop community that lives for this kind of contradiction.
I cannot believe what Lil Durk's defense is. We have just heard his defense make their opening statements, and I'm not going to lie, I'm absolutely floored. You know what they're trying to do? They're blaming it all on Vonnie. Now, I don't know if people are going to go as far as to say that he telling on Vonnie, but he basically is blaming everything on Vonnie. They're basically making this whole case. They showed the entire opening statement, right? Bear in mind that the prosecution, they showed various pictures, videos.
Content creators like Traplaw Ross have been going viral reacting in real time to the trial updates, and the comment sections under every update are in complete chaos, split right down the middle between people saying free Durk, this is just smart lawyering, and people saying this man built a career off snitch shamming, and now he's doing the exact thing he clowned other rappers for. Some fans are even bringing up Young Thug's case for comparison, asking why Durk should get treated any different if the outcome looks similar. What makes this whole situation even heavier is the timing and the personal stakes involved. This isn't some random beef case. This is tied directly to King Von's death, the murder that shaped years of Durk's music and his entire public grieving process. Fans watched him turn that pain into art and tributes, and a whole persona built around loyalty to his fallen brother. Now that same loyalty is allegedly what led to an innocent young woman losing her life, and it's Durk's own team throwing another OTF member under the bus to try to keep him out of a life sentence. At the core of all this is a much bigger question hip-hop has been wrestling with forever. What actually counts as snitching? Is it only when you physically take the stand and point at somebody? Is it when your lawyer does the pointing for you, using information that ultimately came from your own account of events? Is intent the only thing that matters, or does the outcome matter just as much, since either way somebody else is going down harder because of what came out of that courtroom? There's no clean universal answer, and that's exactly why this debate refuses to die every single time a big-name artist ends up in this position. We do know for sure is that Durk's trial is still ongoing, with Kavon Grant expected to testify directly against him in the coming days, alongside the other cooperating witnesses, and a separate racketeering trial still waiting on the other side of this one. The outcome is going to follow him for the rest of his career no matter which way it goes, and so will this snitching conversation and Tekashi's victory lap, because in these streets, perception moves faster than any courtroom verdict ever will. Whether you believe Durk crossed his own line, or believe this is just the reality of fighting for your freedom when you're facing life behind bars, one thing is undeniable. The same code he used to judge everybody else, including the man now laughing loudest at his expense, is the exact code being used to judge him, and there's no version of this story where that irony just quietly disappears.